pretty much everything that we've gathered. So I'm gonna take this along with this bag of bread back on home, sift through it, clean everything, throw out what's bad and keep what's good, and then yeah, we'll start cooking with it.
Today we're going to be making, what are we making today? I don't even know. I've forgotten.
We're making a toasted ravioli.
Toasted ravioli, okay. Ravioli. Okay, all right, let's do this. Hi, we're back in the kitchen and today we're going to be making a toasted ravioli. So let's explain, what exactly are we going to be using today?
All right, we're going to start with the sauce for dipping it in. You can't have toasted ravioli without a delicious dipping sauce. I am going to use the white wine that we found, bell pepper, carrots, sweet corn, and this eggs for veggie egg thing. I don't know. And of course the usual culprits, the olive oil, salt and pepper.
All right, so what we're going to be using for this meal includes a mixing spoon of some sort. We also have a knife. We've got a grater here, a peeler here, a baking pan. We've got a few little bowls to hold all of our chopped veggies. And then we've got a pan over here, which is currently on the griddle. It's already hot, and we're going to go ahead and start making a sauce for our toasted ravioli. So let's begin.
So we're going to start by taking the kernels of corn off the cob. We've done this one before. I believe you know how to do it. I'm just going to put the corn down and let the knife slide down, cut it off like so.
All right.
Compost.
Compost, that's right. Any organic scraps, we can go ahead, throw that into our compost bin that we have outside. So once we have removed all of the kernels from the corn, we're going to set that aside. We're going to move on to this little bell pepper here. We're going to dice that bad boy up, and then we're going to get amongst the carrots.
And I want to get this about the same size as the kernels of corn. So I'm sliding my knife under the white inner rib. That's just cellulose. There's no flavor. It won't break down. It won't have a nice mouthfeel. So, bink, into the compost it goes.
Love it.
Then I'm going to slice some nice thin strips. I'm going to do nice small dice. And I'm going to add that to the corn.
I'm from the hood.
Did we get that?
Yeah.
Good, okay. As long as we have that. Why don't you give that a try? Do the work here.
Let me get myself in the zone. Okay, I'm good to go. What you want to do, it's a very simple technique, okay? You slam that down on the freaking chopping board. Get a little... I've butchered it already. How many times have we filmed me cooking, and yet I still suck? All right, little scoopity boopy. Bada bing.
Alrighty. So there, our corn, our yellow bell pepper. So much yellow. Let's add a little contrast.
Actually, too much yellow. We might have to take some out. I'm not feeling that.
Okay. We're gonna add the color, the contrast.
Right. So
we're gonna peel these guys.
There we go. So what you want to do is you want to just throw the carrots any which way.
So let's start by peeling them.
I had to remind myself in my head of how to. I was like, how do I use this tool, this alien tool? Got it. Nailed it. There you go, as easy as that, all right? If I can do it, you most definitely can do it.
And then after they are peeled, we're going to be grating them. And the reason we're doing it right now is because the carrot is a lot tougher than the bell pepper and the corn. It'll take far too long to cook down.
Okay.
So we're going to make it as small as possible.
Yeah.
Smaller it is, more surface area gets to the heat, faster it cooks down. And then just watch yourself when the piece gets a little small. You don't want to graze your knuckle. So our pan is hot.
Sorry, don't mind me.
I'll just be over here waiting. When you get too close, it becomes a Scooby snack.
What does that mean?
It means you get to eat it
Oh,
rather than cut your fingers.
I like that. A Scooby's little Scooby snack.
Okay.
Ready. All right, we have diced, chopped, smashed, destroyed all of our veggies. They are prepared and ready to go into our pan. So like I said earlier, we've got a hot pan right here.
Already hot.
And what we're going to do is just transfer all of these veggies into this pan. But first and foremost, a little bit of olive oil. All right? Just a dollop.
I would say just enough to cover the bottom of the pan.
You tell me when, and if you don't tell me when, I will keep pouring.
That's good. Okay, in go the veg. Oh, yes.
Just
Sizzling.
want to drop it like it's hot.
Little salt, little pepper.
You mix that around a bit. 1 pinch of salt. 2 frog legs. Sorry, this is not salt, this is pepper.
A goodly amount of pepper.
A little stir it
right.
around.
What we're going to do is let that go for a little bit. I want some brown on the corn and everything. That's where those sugars start to get caramelized. You start to get some really good flavor. So we're going to let that go and move on to some breadcrumbs.
Let's do this. All right, guys, we have moved the veggies over to the stove back there just to kind of speed up the process. So we're going to let that cook down. In the meantime, we're going to move over to this bread and turn it into some delicious breadcrumbs that we are going to coat over the tortellini. So, let's do this.
All right, it's ravioli, but that's okay.
Sorry, ravioli, my mistake. Sue me, whatever. Anyways.
All right, we're going to start by just ripping the bread into smallish hunks like that and putting it into the food processor.
Okay.
If you don't have a food processor, you can do this in a blender. There's lots of different ways to make breadcrumbs from whole bread. You can dry it in the oven, like at a low oven, about 325, 300, and just grind it up with your hands. There's a lot of different ways. So we can pack this kind of full, and we're just going to let that pulse until we see breadcrumbage. There you go.
Is it done?
I think it's done. No, look, it's beautiful. It's
Freshly baked bread from a local bakery.
whole grain.
Whole grain,
My
just
fave.
tossed out. We're not sure why they didn't donate it. As you saw earlier, there was heaps of it.
You want any close-ups of this?
Okay.
I might have to go down.
Yeah. We've got stuff blowing up in the background. Now that we have nuked those slices of bread and turned them into these really nice looking breadcrumbs,
We're just going to add a little salt, little pepper, pop it into the oven at 325. I would say let's check it in 15, maybe 20 minutes. I'm going to turn it a little bit just to make sure it gets toasted evenly as we go.
Perfect.
So a little salt, little pepper. That's on you. That should be just fine.
okay.
All right, into the oven it goes for about 15, 20 minutes.
These veggies have a little peek with your peepers. They are finished in my eyes. They have cooked for what, about
15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our dumpster dive bottle of wine, add this wine to the frying pan here, mix it in with the veggies, and create a nice little salsa.
Right, this is called deglazing. If this were on a flame, I would pull the saute pan off the flame because alcohol is highly flammable. We don't want to flambe it, we just want to...
Right.
What you're doing is covering just kind of the bottom of the pan. You want to give the pan a little shake there. And we're just picking up the bits of caramelization that have stuck to the bottom of the pan. And we're going to let that cook down now until all of that wine has been cooked into, but you can see how it's picked up all the delicious little brown caramelized bits on the pan. I'm gonna let that go until that wine cooks down.
As an alcoholic, this meal excites me.
All right, and as soon as that wine cooks off, we're gonna be stirring in our veggie for your eggs. This is just roasted vegetables. It's like a salsa, to be honest with you. It's very much like a salsa. Lots of roasted veg that have been sort of chopped up a little bit into a sauce. I think it's going to be delicious with all of this.
So in the event that you don't have the veggies for your eggs...
right, this product,
right.
just take your veggies and roast them. And you can use a blender if you want to smooth it out, make it more sauce-like.
All right, so our veggies have finished cooking down with the wine. When do we know that it is good to go?
So once you see no real pooling or buildup of liquid there, then you know that that wine is all cooked in, the alcohol is cooked off, and you're ready to add.
Unfortunately.
I didn't use the whole bottle.
Oh my God! No, it smells amazing.
It smells like salsa.
It smells like sauce.
Like
I
a really good
accidentally
sauce.
just had a taste of it as well.
I'm just going to stir it in and let the whole thing heat through, and that's going to go on our toasted raviolis.
So as we wait for the breadcrumbs to get nice and toasty in the oven, we're going to be separating the egg whites from the egg yolks. What we're going to do is we're going to put the egg whites in here. We're gonna get our
ravioli.
I keep messing that one up. Our ravioli, and dipping the ravioli in with the egg whites, and then using that to have the breadcrumbs stick to the ravioli. And then we're gonna create some really cool, awesome toasted ravioli with that. The egg yolks, what are we gonna be doing with the egg yolks?
There's a lot you can do with leftover egg yolks. If you're someone who likes high protein smoothies, you could throw an egg yolk in there. If you want to make a mayonnaise, you can make that. You can make a hollandaise. There's all kinds of things that you can do with leftover egg yolks. Never get rid of them, always use them. They're good food. So we're gonna just separate these eggs. You can use 2 shells, go back and forth, or
just use your hand like a barbarian.
Stuck in. This is how we do it. So there's 1 egg white and 1 egg yolk.
All right, breadcrumbs have finished baking. They're nice and toasty, crispy. So explain the process. What is going on right here?
All right, well, we actually have these beautiful cheese ravioli, and they have been rescued. We're going to take a ravioli. We're going to dip it lightly into the egg wash, and then into the breadcrumbs so it's thoroughly coated, and then place it on the rack on the baking tray. When you are doing a breading technique, it's always important to have a wet hand and a dry hand. You don't want to be using the same hand in here that you're using in here, and vice versa, because then your wet and your dry is going to get all mixed, and you won't have a really nice, even breading.
It'll be a mess,
So
basically.
I can be the wet hand here. You're going to be the dry.
Got it.
All right, so I'm taking my ravioli, coating it both sides in the egg wash, and you get to coat it in the breadcrumbs.
Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna submerge them in the breadcrumbs.
Submerge them is a perfect technique, and then you just kind of press a little bit so that you get them onto the egg wash.
There you go. You've got your breaded tortellini right there.
Or ravioli.
Sorry, ravioli. Why do I keep calling?
Mommy.
Okay, I'm still working over here. I can't work under this pressure. We have finally finished. As you can see, our nicely breaded ravioli here. What we're gonna do is we're going to take it, stick it in the oven for about how long?
20 minutes at 400 degrees till it's nice and crispy.
Take it out, plate this bad boy, try it, and we'll let you know if it came out great or if it came out absolutely god-awful. At long last, we have finished our meal.
I'm almost gonna call this, it's like a succotash almost. It's that veggie sort of salsa that we have.
We got carrots, corn, we got that vegetable salsa mix. There was another vegetable that we had in there, and I'm not really sure. Oh, the bell pepper.
And the bell pepper, so much yellow.
We don't even know what we cooked.
And then we have, of course, our cheese raviolis that we breaded with our toasted breadcrumbs and some chive blossoms. More of those from the garden.
Yes, you first.
Uh-oh, how am I getting this done?
Yeah, we're like 3 miles away from the plate. It's good? Anything that needs to be improved upon? You're like, no, my cooking is pretty much perfection.
No.
Is this something that you've made before, or was this just a total experiment?
Total experiment. I saw the bread, I saw breadcrumbs, I saw the ravioli, I'm like, you could toast them.
I saw food and was like, I might be able to eat that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot. We're gonna grab one of these ravis.
Oh, you know what would go really well with this? A cold glass of white wine.
1 second, guys, we'll be right back. What better accompaniment to our meal than a glass of dumpster-dived wine? Cheers.
Cheers.
Ding. Thanks so much for watching yet another episode of Cooking with Trash. If you guys like what we're doing, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Cooking with Trash. On Instagram, it's Cooking with Trash Show. All of that's going to be down in the description below. It's safe to say that food waste is detrimental to the entire world. So if you want to make a difference, do your research, get involved. Of course, you can follow our pages. We got lots of tips and tricks and stuff on there on how to reduce food waste at home. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace out. We will catch you on the next episode of Cooking with Trash.
Cheers.
Cheers.